Welcome to Kretinga, the land where you can visit Samogitia, Baltic ancient world and Japan in one day. You'll find Kretinga district in the west of Lithuania, just off the coast of the Baltic Sea. It is 3 hours away from the capital Vilnius and just half an hour from the port city Klaipėda. There also is a train connecting it to the capital and to Klaipėda. The population of Kretinga district reaches around 37,000 in 2021. Generally, Kretinga is a little bit overlooked, since it is so close to Palanga seaside resort, the most popular summer place in Lithuania. However, if the weather becomes not hot enough for beachgoers, many of them turn to see what Kretinga has to offer. And it doesn't disappoint. Let's start with Kretinga city, the district capital. It is an old place first mentioned in history in 13th century. And probably the oldest buildings still intact are the monastery and the church, built in 1617. The Gothic Renaissance-style church is the oldest one in Samogitia region. You can also feel the monastery spirit in their famous tea house bookstore, Špitolė, across the street. There is one more historical place in Kretinga that is also famous all across Lithuania. It is its manor house, the Winter Garden. It is one of the best well-kept manor houses in Lithuania. It was built in the beginning of 19th century and it still has the main building, Winter Garden, park, watermill, steward's house and a chapel. The 19th century was also some of the best times for whole Kretinga region. While the current manor and park was built by Dukes Zubov, more big improvements came when Counts Tiškevičiai bought it in the second half of the century. Joseph Tiškevič built one of the largest private winter gardens in Europe at the time, converted the watermill to a hydro plant, which was the first in Lithuania, and connected a telephone line with Plungė and Rietavas manor houses, which also was the first in Lithuania. Today the manor house is district's museum and is very well worth a visit, where you can see a large museum's collection inside the main manor, as well as the winter garden connected to it. That looks like a green tropical haven, even more so if the weather is not so good outside. There are 170 species of plants inside, brought from all over the world, including the tropical Amazon and African desert plants. All of them are spread out throughout the 3 floors, creating a mini jungle, plus a desert on the side. Right in the middle there is a pond with Japanese carps and turtles. There also are some birds. This garden definitely transports one to somewhere thousands of kilometers away from the northern Europe. To enjoy it even more, there also is a restaurant in one of the balconies, and it is all connected with other rooms with museums exhibitions. After the main house, there is another exhibition in the steward's house and the watermill. The watermill also houses a confectionery and cafe, where you can try some local traditional sweets and desserts. Kretinga Manor also has a large park with 2 ponds. It's been taken care of for centuries and is a very beautiful place for a walk. Inside the park there also is an astronomical calendar and sundial. Kretinga district has a few more interesting parks worth going to. Here's one more, Baltic Mythology Park. Here in the midst of nature you can get to know the whole mythology of ancient Baltic tribes. The park has plenty of wooden sculptures depicting all the mythological creatures and gods and more. The park has the shape of a spindle and at its center there is an altar. Everything here is built strategically, creating a little ancient Baltic world, from location depicting underworld, earth, temple, to the sky and heavens. There even is a labyrinth that could be interesting to cross. Also, park's creators organize various traditional yearly events and excursions. After this, basically next door, there is another park. This time it probably couldn't get any further from the Baltics. It is a Japanese garden. This Japanese garden is actually one of the largest by land area in the whole Europe, 16 hectares in size. But the park is still young. The owners have been working on it only for 14 years, and the trees need plenty more time to grow. This will be an amazing place in further times to come, but it is already interesting to visit today as well. There you will find a large stone garden with sakuras and ponds, giving a reason for people to flock in spring. There also is a collection of 1,000 bonsai trees, and plenty other plants blooming all summer season. In autumn, all of it changes into beautiful fire colors. If you want to immerse into Japanese life even more, then there is a possibility to have Japanese tea, stay at the garden villa, or even plant a tree yourself. Next, let's go to see more of Lithuanian culture and nature in Salantai Regional Park. It is quite large and a part of it is also situated in Skuodas district municipality, so we'll leave that part for later. Now let's first go to Salantai town. Here you can visit the visitor center of the regional park, where you can see and learn all about what's in there. Salantai is also a good stop for a lunch break during the trip. There is a tiny restaurant famous all over Lithuania, Pakalnutė, Lily of the Valley in English. While it might not look like anything special at first, it is one of those places where the food, while simple, is cooked and served with love. In Salantai Regional Park there also is another museum. It is a house museum of famous 19th century bishop and writer Motiejus Valančius. He was one of the most important public figures in the middle of 19th century. His novel Palangos Juzė is a must-read for school students. This house is where he grew up and there is a biographical exhibition inside. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to go inside since I was driving by so late. Now it is time to explore the natural side of the regional park. Salantai Regional Park is situated around the valleys of the river Salantas and Minija. Minija is one of the longest rivers in Samogitia, and it further goes into Klaipėda district. But the part in this regional park is very scenic, and enthusiasts will find plenty of options for kayaking there. Next to Minija River, there also is a cognitive trail leading to one of many beautiful exposures on Minija River bank. The route is less than 2 kilometers long, going from the local hill fort to the very edge of Dauginčiai exposure, and rewarding with an amazing view of Minija River curves. More great views can be found at Kretinga hill fort. From this historic hill, where a wooden castle used to stand until the 13th century, you can see more of Minija River Valley, as well as Kretinga village close by. It is a great stop not only when traveling by car, but also during a kayaking trip. There are campsites and walking paths all around the area. Kretinga Hill Fort is also famous for its festival held every summer, with a show about ancient Baltic tribes and mythology. And the last place to have a wide view of Salantai Regional Park is Kalnalis Overlook Tower in Kalnalis village. Although not very high, just 15 meters tall, it provides a view to Salantai River Valley and the large Imbare Hill Fort on the other side. There also is a 2-kilometer trail connecting them both. Next to the tower, there also is a cute little wooden church. In the end, Kretinga is a great place to visit when you are traveling in the western Lithuania towards the seaside. Combined with a lazy beach holiday in Palanga district, Kretinga is a worthy cultural and natural addition to the seaside trip. See you in Kretinga. Thanks for watching.